Alright then, it's all or nothing. Oh, thank you, sound devs. What the witnesses saw. I was ingesting a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while I was having a tactical discussion with the old man.
Yes.
No, it's not yes, it's...
Hold it.
God damn it, Rinosuke. What? Why aren't you saying anything? Is this some new interrogation technique? I hadn't actually thought of what I wanted to ask. Just ask about anything that catches your attention. Anything that bothers you. Alright then. This beef steak you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tisha! Beef steak is a delicious cut of veal, vigorously cooked on a cast iron grill and served piping hot. Oh. If food could receive medals of honor, beef steak would be almost as highly decorated as a cutlet. If they would just show the fucking baby, I would just not be as annoyed by the whining. Right, I see. Thank you, sir. So, next question. This cutlet you mentioned. What kind of food is that? Tension! Cutlet is a delicious cut of veal tossed in breadcrumbs and deep fried in cooking oil. Accept your guilty verdict. Atone for your crimes, and then you're released from prison. Try it! Yes, I will, sir. On the double, sir. I'm sorry to interrupt, but how about trying to stick to questions that are relevant to the case? Oh, sorry. I'll do my best. So, next question. Is it just me, or do you keep hearing a sort of wah crying noise? Negative. Well, at least we've learned that he's a big beef lover. Affirmative. It's not easy knowing what questions to ask. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman.
Yes.
I have no idea what you're talking about! A koban, boy. A koban? You mean an old Edo coin? The day prior to the incident, a treasure of exponential value from the Hoei period entered my possession. I took myself to the restaurant the following day, with said items secreted in my bosom pocket, in the hopes of an affluent cognizant appraise of its indisputable value being present. Oh my word, this old man's gonna kill me. So, you were hoping to sell your koban coin to Sergeant Nosa, whom you met at the restaurant? Yes, it's quite clear that you're going with this boy. You're about to assert that a penniless soldier would have no hope of purchasing a precious koban. Isn't that so? Well... You little upstart cadet. You want to address disrespecting a superior officer to your list of crimes, do you? Blatant subordination. Wow. No, I didn't say anything. Although, penniless might be just the word I was looking for. In any case, the hour was already advanced beyond that of the midday luncheon. There remained precious few present with whom I could engage in discord about matters of business. The gentleman aside me, who is grappling with his braised veal at the time. Oh no, wait, this is still the old man. Ugh. The gentleman aside me, who was grappling with his braised veal at the time, was my sole prospect. I see. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes.
Yes.
So, you're saying that you actually saw me at that time? Affirmative, I saw you. Laughing, cackling like a madman as you trained the barrel of your gun at the English civilian. I like he keeps looking at his hand. Like, oh shit, I did that. But that's impossible. I only... Allow me to confirm just 1 point, please. What's that, Private? Thinking carefully about the statement you just made, it seems to me that it must have been just after you heard the gunshot that you looked over to the victim's table. And so what if it was? Well, if that really is the case, it would mean that you didn't in fact see the precise moment when the killer actually fired the gun. Ah! And double ah! My sixth sense. Excuse? My sixth sense of danger. I picked up on the waves of murderous energy radiating from your foul mind. Which means, a split second before you pulled the trigger, I was looking right at you, Cadet. Surely that's not really possible, is it? Do you think I'd gotten to where I am today in the army if I couldn't sense danger in the air, son? Well, it would seem the soldier's absolutely convinced that he saw you do the deed. Yeah, this is not good. The black uniform varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel.
Yes.
So this black uniformed university cadet, you're saying that was... Ah! I've had just about enough of your sauce, cadet. Who else do you see around in a black uniform, well, there's someone next to me. It was you, you little weasel. You unloaded a firearm in that old... on the man. But... Thank you. From behind his back, and you call yourself a citizen of the great empire of Nippon, you disgust me. What? What the fuck face is that? I both do and don't want that to be a regular face he puts on. What the What? You catching flies? Or something? What is that? He disassociated so hard right there. What is it, Ryunosuke? I'm not quite sure. It's something that the sergeant just said, but I couldn't put my finger on it. Something playing on my mind. I mean, I already know what I'm presenting on that statement. I just want to press every statement, because that is super fun. In that case, check back over the details of the evidence you've gathered in court record. And you find an inconsistency there with what the witness just said, then don't hold back. Present the evidence to the court. Thrust it in the witness's face and make him choke on... What the Whoa! It just got really hot behind the counter, alright? Whoa. Well then.
Stop it. Get some help.
I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of a mysteriously absconded Precurious Curio. We're gonna push this last one. I've seen enough hentai. There's never enough, okay? Sonia, there's never enough. On your hands and knees? Could you please explain? Yes, could you explain that to the class? That's right. Spurning the arthritis I was in order to retrieve the lost piece. What lost piece are you referring to? Jesus. The Kaban, of course. The exquisite Yoei era Kaban coin. Hoei. Yeah. I had just been showing the rare treasure to the military man as he masticated his meal. After averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more. It simply vanished. The Kaban vanished? Hence, I began to acquaint myself with the intricacies of the floor in order to locate it, and then it happened. Masticated is a complicated word for chewing. Because this is Phoenix Wright, that's why. You heard the gunshot, you mean? None other than Though it was no concern of mine, I was frantically scouring the floor for the aforementioned lost treasure. So, in fact, you didn't actually witness the precise moment when the incident occurred? Indeed. Myself, I did not. I have no idea what I'm supposed to do here. Listen, Ryunosuke. We know there are lies lurking in these statements. It's time to expose them. I understand that. The question is, how? Like I said before, the key to this is using evidence that you've collected. You can examine and present evidence while a witness is giving testimony by pressing E. Go ahead! Press E. Press E in the courtroom. Do it. Go through each witness statement and the details about each piece of evidence and compare all the facts. Blah, 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 blah. That's right. All mine. Somewhere in there, you'll find something that doesn't add up. In other words, an inconsistency. An inconsistency? When you find a statement and a piece of evidence that seems to contradict each other, pull out your sword and just fucking end it. Present your evidence with awe and rip the witness apart. This is... there is so much tension just in the first trial. Just be careful, because you assert a if you assert a contradiction that has no basis, you'll be given a penalty. If you're dealt too many penalties, the defense's case will fall apart and you'll receive a guilty verdict. So that's it. Peruse the evidence in the court record and find an inconsistency with the witness's statement. Alright, I'll give it a try. You can hear the witness's statements over and over again, as many times as you like. So keep your head up and be measured in your attack. Good luck, partner. Alright, so let's, oh. This is gonna feel so good to do after, like, fucking, what, 6 years since the Phoenix Wright game?
Yes.
It's a...
Objection.
He better learn these words when we get to fucking England. No, sir. Ouchie. Judge. What? What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. In my mustache. Inconsistency, sir! I mean, yes! There's a clear inconsistency here. Tisk! What nonsense! What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously, that, I know what I want to say, but the words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency, that there's no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. This is so frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require any explanation. It couldn't be more plain. I'll cover for you. Can I punch Aoshi? No, hun. It's a rule of Phoenix Wright. You always face against a descendant of pain. They always have a name that plays on them being in pain. And then by the end, they lose their hair, or they rip out their hair, or they foam in the mouth and lose consciousness. So trust me, Ouchie, we're gonna have a great breakdown of Ouchie. Why does he have a sword in the courtroom? Because Japan. Because Japan and Edo period, and just because Japan. That's all we get right now. I mean, it's not the first prosecutor or defense attorney that has carried a sword in the courtroom, or a whip, or an entire crow, or like a laser face mask thing. I've seen worse, is what I'm saying. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Can I have all the above? Yeah, just come to a Phoenix Wright photo shoot, and you will get all of the above that you want. Ryunosuke. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant Yesanosa. Yes, sir. What? The statement you just made was this. The black uniform varsity cadet fired at the English civilian, and from the back, the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative. I witnessed the crime with my own military-grade eyes.
Yes.
But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is the obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? Oh, there's the baby! There's the baby! No. He's been carrying a baby the whole time, hon. Like that's what the pink sash is, or the purple sash. It's a baby carrier. That's why you keep hearing a baby every time he finishes a statement. Oh, what? What was that? Something just popped up from behind his back and he pushed it back down again. Certainly, this is a clear discrepancy with the facts here. Would you not agree, Sergeant Nosa? Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were firmly fixed on the delicious Le Carnaval steak, sir. What? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond any reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yesanosa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd! I think that the conclusion we must draw is simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. Gah! Gah! There's a baby! There's been a complete turnabout in the mood of this trial just from that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Oh, there's so much more to it. Though you're getting the gay vibes, right? Because that is also part of ace attorney. You just pulled no you. But I definitely saw him. That university cadet there. He was pointing the firearm directly at the victim's back.
Yes.
But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself? I have already been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Ah, yes, you were looking for your Koban coin, weren't you? Indeed. The prize Hoei area Koban. Hunting around under the table I was, in case mayhaps it had fallen there. And then it happened. You heard the gunshot, you mean? Indeed I did! Calm the fuck down. But I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoei treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest. Did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoe Kaban was lost to me. Alright, so if I know Ace Attorney stuff, my guess is either the actual culprit or the professor absconded with the coin. And the killing was some sort of reaction to that coin in particular. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin from his... Or it was the baby! Or the baby just snacked it. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard is inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Very not, Your Excellency. The defendant may have fled a tiger in front of the gate, but he will find a wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. You will thoroughly explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegations. Is that clear? As clear as Kiriko glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir. At once, sir. Awaiting signal to testify, sir. Baby is ready. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out over your shoulder, I think. Ah, affirmative. The newest member of the Nosa family to rise up in the ranks, sir. Name, Ido. It would seem those straps are a sign of the sergeant being too strapped to afford a nanny. Ido, attention! Your father's about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. The true culprit. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at a foreign man, he was that young lad in black. That much I myself did see. Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was, the Englishman, dining all by himself. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out. So this is going to be one where I have to press them, and they will give further testimony, and I press that. Wait, that's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But there was a woman. There was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her.
Objection!
If you call yourself a lawyer, then you will respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We are not here to listen to your fantasies. It is evident beyond all reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. The prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact. Thank you, hon. Is this a photographic print of the scene? That's what I forgot to get. I forgot to get that. Oh, I know. I knew I needed that. Oh, I knew I needed that sound. Hold up. We're pausing this for like 30 seconds or something. I need to see if it's available. I need to see if I can just download the sound alert. Hold up. Sound alerts. Hold up. Please tell me it's there. Please tell me it's something I can just grab. Library. Photograph.
Look at this photograph.
Oh wait, what can I replace this with? What can I replace this with? Yes. Oh wait, I need to get something off my channel points. Hold on. The ooh objection. We're gonna get rid of Hello Darkness for a minute, okay? I can only have 5 sound alerts. Photograph. I'm gonna add this to my soundboard later, but channel points. All right. I'm gonna trust you guys to only activate this during opportune moments of photographs, okay? I say this knowing you're gonna just play with it immediately, but just try to withhold.
Look at this photograph.
God damn it, hon. Okay, and I'm gonna do it just to make sure this works.
Look at this photograph.
Okay, I might need to turn it down a bit though. Okay. All right. This is very important. This is very important. I did it cuz it made you laugh. No, don't leave, Sonia. No. It's very important. Photographs happen so much. All right.
Indeed. Of the table at which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident.
Hold up. Let me take a look at the previous one. Glass, wine, glass. Okay. Back. Glass, space. Okay, that lines up, I think. Wait. Was the steak partially eaten? It could be, but it's hidden by him. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. I'll play with these photos later.
As you can plainly see, there's only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else.
It doesn't make any sense.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the record. Photograph print, a bottle of carbonated water, and a steak lunch can be seen on the victim's table. Yep, that's carbonated water, alright. It's always carbonated water. It's never anything else. Nope, nothing alcoholic in this game.
I don't understand.
What's going on? It's just not possible that no one else saw that woman. The waiter before said the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. But that's not true. I saw her. I swear I saw the woman with him. They were totally getting it on and no one was going to say anything. Maybe there was a happy ending underneath his table. We don't know. It would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to the Great Britain on time after all. The witnesses' testimonies we have just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain.
Yes. Oh, for those who missed it, it's the Nippon and Great Britain Treaty of Friendship. It's something else. I think trade, but like the friendship part got me.
To think that Takesuchi Ouchi will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires is an honor. Oh, there's the Phoenix Sprite. Like, I'm fucked. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet.
What?
If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. Listen to your motherfucking senpai.
I don't know, Kazuma.
The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood?
Rules can be so unbending at times.
Even if what I say wasn't the precise moment of the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For start, I didn't fire the gun. We have a difference of opinion on that. The opinion of a uniformed officer versus that of a fledgling cadet.
I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked.
Good for you. Yeah?
Did you see it? Did you see me blink? Are you looking deep into my eyes?
How could I?
And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Have what?
Tangent!
The sound of the firearm rang in my ears, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
I think that says it all, don't you?
Uh,
And let us not forget that the antiques dealer witnessed the accused in this moment incriminating position as well.
accused in this most incriminating position.
Isn't that right, Korekuta-san?
Curator.
Yes, pointing his gun at the foreign man he was, that young lad in black. That much I myself did see.
Yes, it may be true that I was holding the gun at that point in time. But I've told you already, that's because I picked it up off the floor.
Well, obviously, as the culprit, that's the only way you could explain it away.
I had just finished drinking my coffee and was about to leave the restaurant. I noticed the gun on the floor at Dr. Wilson's feet, so I picked it up. And at that exact moment, a gunshot rang in my ears.
Full of events beyond our control, life is.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In your case, you found a pistol on the floor and picked it up, which precipitated this testing predicament. Whereas, conversely, I failed to pick up the kaban from the floor and find myself in an equally testing predicament as well. Anyway, the fact remains, myself, I did see you, with pistol in hand, standing over the foreigner.
Furthermore, a visual search of the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table. There was a lady there.
Objection!
As you have been at pains to point out time and again, I feel I'm growing a callus in my ear.
Oh yeah, no, he is. He does not stop. Also, hi, Case.
And yet, no one else appears to have caught even a glimpse of this woman, which is weird, because there's a bunch of dudes here, and we have all seen a woman.
If only there'd been more people dining there at the time, then someone else might have noticed her. Oh, it's Phoenix Wright Day. I'm doing fantastic. Unfortunately, it was already past 2 p.m. when it happened. The quiet time between lunch and dinner in any restaurant. I know, of course the place is almost empty. It's what you'd expect. Unless you're at a fucking Ren fair, then there's still a line almost half an hour long just to get a damn baked potato. I'm not salty about that at all. Certainly, 2 p.m. is neither here nor there in terms of a time to eat. I wonder if there is a reason why the victim was eating at that time of day, and why he was alone.
Yes, Your Excellency. There was indeed a reason.
There was.
This was found in the victim's jacket pocket.
What is that, Counsel?
It is a medical report card, Your Excellency. It would seem that the victim had an appointment at a clinic prior to visiting the restaurant.
Hacks his headband mechanics. He's got some protagonist abilities. It's a unique quirk. Just that hot. Hota. Oh my word! It's Hota. Fuck. Oh, I don't expect callbacks to the first Ace Attorney in like friggin' this game, and I love that there's the drop. If anyone remembers no, it was the second Ace Attorney. I think. Was it the second one? It was first or second. One of them you go to Hota Clinic, and there's like a creepy looking doctor dude that you get some info from. And you return there later in the game. But yeah, no, that is the name of the clinic in the original series. Yes, there would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m. The very day of the incident.
So the victim went to a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Ryunosuke?
Well, it's hard to see how it could be related, really.
Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Should I ask Dr. Wilson's medical court to be...
Yes!
Yes!
He's so formal. If I may, I'd like to ask that the medical report card to be submitted as evidence, Your Excellency.
On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to his arrival at the restaurant are of no concern.
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
You have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well, the court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's the most disturbing trend. Oh, look at me. I have rights. I want food. I want to go to bed. Stop hitting me. Rights.
Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court record. Add to the court record. There we go. What we need right now is a new clue. We have a new clue, and it's court record. Let me see what this thing says. Oh, is that it? Oh, I can't actually read it. These are all I have. Okay. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant at first.
Right, I hear you. You can conspire to prologue this trial as long as you like. But it's the day after the festival already for you. Or perhaps you'd forgotten that these witness testimonies leave no room for doubt. Feel free to reiterate for the accused, Kurikuta-san. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman, dining all by himself.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your own eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone.
That I did. Forgive me for the position I placed you in.
Hi, Rania.
So the testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting? And let us not forget the incontestable evidence we have to support these statements as well. Oh, I must drink. Hey, look, it's a photograph. As can clearly be seen.
Objection!
There's no objection. You're just pressing every button now. There's only a single beefsteak on the victim's table. A meal for one. No.
The antiques dealer, the sergeant, and the waiter who testified before. It's not impossible that they're all lying. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Like buttons. Therefore, no one other than the black uniformed cadet could have dispatched the Englishman. Over and out.
Yes!
Why aren't you telling the truth? What did you say, cadet?
I clearly remember. There was a woman sitting across the table from the professor. Perhaps one of you might not have noticed. But for both of you to have failed to see the professor's dining companion, it's just not possible.
Unfortunately for you, Defendant Naruhodo, it's not just a case of these two witnesses alone.
Sorry?
The waiter, whose testimony the court heard earlier, clearly stated the same thing. He also said that the victim was alone.
That's right.
Precisely. In other words, you're the sole proponent of this phantom lady.
But I...
If such a woman were indeed present at the scene, the prosecution demands to see proof. And if no such proof exists, the prosecution demands that no further mention of this phantom woman be made. It is a blatant waste of the court's time.
There's nothing I can say to that.
Excellent work, Ryunosuke. We've gleaned some new information now.
Well, yeah, but I don't feel like it changes much. I can't see that it brings any real discrepancies to light.
I wouldn't be so sure. Let me see that medical report card you got before.
Oh, you mean this?
Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. So perhaps we should examine it in a little... Oh, that's why it wouldn't let me examine it. Is there such a priest in the court? There is around Kazuma. Or perhaps we should examine in a little more detail.
How exactly?
You'll notice that some pieces of evidence bear a magnifying glass. These are the ones you may examine. Yeah, so it wouldn't let me examine it earlier. Press space, and you can take a closer look at the piece in question. Use arrow keys. To rotate the evidence in all directions and examine it from all angles. By using wusadu. Thank you for the illustration. You can move the crosshairs around to hunt for clues that may have been missed before. Blip, blip, blip. If the crosshairs start to pulsate. I love this. In ancient Japan, this is how we examined evidence. Press space to investigate further. So, partner, I think you should take a closer look at this medical report card. See if there's something new to be learnt by examining it in more detail.
Alright, I'll see what I can do. I need to use arrows. We saw it in space.
Alright. Name John Wilson Hota Clinic.
It says Hota Clinic on the report card. I hate clinics almost as much as I hate hospitals and surgeries.
Aren't they all the same?
When I was 5, I caught the only cold I've ever had in my life. And I remember, even though I felt awful already, I had to have this hideous injection in my right arm. I'll never forget it. Never in my whole life.
Most people would give their right arm to have only one cold in their whole lifetime. Anyway, I don't think this is a clinic where they treat people for illnesses like that. Let's keep looking for clues. We don't want to miss anything.
Is this different, the stamp, or not? No, okay. It looks like this medical report was first issued quite some time ago. It's probably a record of long-term treatment, that's why. With a family doctor, I imagine. Well, I can't imagine. Going to a doctor, I mean. As long as I'm alive, I'm never consulting one. Remember, kids, don't go to fucking doctors. Just read Facebook and you'll be fine. Well, if you were dead, there'd be no point. So you don't like doctors, then? Why would you? They make you drink horrible-tasting medicine, then give you painful injections. And then they demand lots of money from you for the privilege, all when you're at your lowest ebb. You sound like a model patient. With a bad case of stubbornness, no less, for which the only cure is a very bitter medicine indeed. Well. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and there's an entry for the day the professor was killed. Extraction of molar with topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar? You mean he had a tooth taken out? It would seem so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps they used laughing gas. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yeah, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. Strictly no food or drink besides water for 3 hours post-procedure until anesthetic effects have passed. Okay. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. It's been prohibited for eating or drinking anything but water. With this new information, the meaning of that one particular statement totally changes. So, I think it's time we listen to the testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Okay, which statement is it? For the man, he was that one in the blood, see himself. Individual to the premises at the time confirmed that we were the only personnel present. Indeed, alone he was the Englishman dining all by himself.
Yes!
Excuse me. Question? Well, I think, about what are you whittering, lad? Call yourself a lawyer? I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Ryunosuke. Everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. Don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Okay, you're really hot. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Hi, Shia. Korikuta-san, this is the medical report card belonging to the victim. Ah, I see, and? I don't see. What of it, boy? Comparing what is written on this report with your witness statement, slapping, something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me, have you forgotten my word so soon, you amateur? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. But let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. But that's, Remember, Ryunosuke, I'm not really here. I'm a spirit, a ghost, and that's why my headband keeps doing this. Remember, Ryunosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point.
Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all, for the simple reason that there's no one else besides that pale-faced pupil who... Bloop. No, he's not really dead. I'm just being... I'm being a dick. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case? Do you really believe that? What? That outburst half petrified me, boy! Of course I believe it. How can it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hota Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted. What's this now? And furthermore, if I told you that as a result, the victim had been forbidden from eating. Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat. So what? It's all written up right here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't... Kore Kuta-san. What, boy? What? As you just heard, when he was killed sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. No. Additionally, there's more. You have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. Oh, there's a slam. But that can't possibly be the case. Because the victim, as we now know, had just one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of anesthesia. Oh, this is the new objection theme for it. Yeah, okay. Expertly done, partner. Now I just have to get to the turnabout music.
Objection!
What is this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at the photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food at the victim's table.
Objection!
Use your head. That's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Or can't you follow logic?
Thank you. How dare you?
I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case have turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes! Most definitely. So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beef steak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense on this new puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel? Counsel? Oh, that means me. All right, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been the victim himself, me, the two witnesses, and as of yet unknown third party. Obviously, it can only have been someone else who was sitting at the professor's table. You'll not let this go, will you? There was no such person. There was. Thank you. He keeps saying yes, and that's wrong. Because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertions. It's clear that these witness testimonies are unreliable. If the court decides to push through a ruling at this stage, I will slice everyone down. We will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial relentlessly. Kazuma. Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them! Those two witnesses in the stand. What? What are you talking about? We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously, you will be charged with perjury. Perjury? And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit? In murder? No! The baby is shocked. Not the baby. Negative. There was no mention of this in the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right, as the man says. Just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they told us. Why is there a baby? Because it's Ace Attorney. That's the only explanation you're gonna get. I'm sorry. Oh. Thanks, old man. Ow. What? What did you just say, Kurakuta-san? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Now, just hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What's the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Oh, so Payne was unaware. Like, okay, no, to be fair, Payne doesn't actually tend to, like, have witnesses lie. Like, he pushes, and he fails, and he's a dick. But he doesn't normally have people lie, so that's actually still in tune with Payne. Is this true, you pair? Just one simple slip of the tongue. Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here. It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not! The prosecution knows nothing of this. I actually believe that Payne doesn't know anything about this. If anything, I think it's the waiter. Actually, let me look at the court record for a second. Can I actually look at the waiter's card now? Can I flip it over? I can. That's unexpected. What is... Look, do you see it says the witness's name here? Satoru Hosonaga. Well, yes, business cards do tend to show the person's name. That's sort of the point. It's not the name that's unexpected. It's his job title. He's not a waiter. Chief Inspector. Primary Criminal Investigation Division. Imperial Police Bureau. I fucking called that! Inspector, what on earth? I have no idea, but let's face it, the police have a lot of power and influence. If they're wielding it somehow here. Oh, I just upgraded the card. Fuck yeah. Alright, is there anything else we can look at that... no, just the magnifying glass. Alright. Nothing new that we could glean from that. Nothing new we could get from that. Okay. Then who's behind this? Who tried to keep your mouth shut? That's classified. So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Ryunosuke. Judging from the way they're reacting to this, I'd say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there are only a handful of possibilities. It could only have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? If we can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we'll need evidence before we can make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whoever did it will... Oh, I just found that by accident. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Yep, no. He's telling me exactly what I just did. Oh yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. There's no time to lose. I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe. Please, wait, Your Excellency. I had no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I knew nothing. And what does the defense have to say about this? Well, Your Excellency. No time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first person that comes to my head. Besides the prosecution, the only person with the necessary influence to manipulate the witness is...
Yes!
Well, surely that would be... Satoru Hosonaga-san. Hosonaga-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier?
Attention!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses give false testimony? Not to mention the fact that a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? If he truly were... Come on, Ryunosuke. Time to hit this court with the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity, as proven by this evidence.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question? I agree it shows great detail of attention. A great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure we can conclude anything. Sorry, Your Excellency, that's the back of the card. Because they pulled this with the second trial in the first game. It's the back of the card that's the interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I should say the front? Yes. It's the front of the back of the card. That's where the telling detail is. Just flip the fucking card over. Would someone please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say? Hosonaga-san sketched the plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The waiter's profession, but that's surely... Good gracious! On whether or not Phoenix can be considered a himbo because he's still intelligent despite his dumb moments. Now this fucker dumb. Okay, to be fair, like, early Phoenix, like when you defend him in the third game, is dumb as bricks. So my guess is the rest of the game is going to take place in England and Naruhodo is going to be a little more adept to his job. Actually, Apollo was almost the exact same way his first trial. Then again, Apollo didn't get actually good until game 6. He just kept getting handicapped like fuck. That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
What? The waiter is a police detective?
I haven't heard any mention of this before. Why haven't I heard any mention of this before? Oh, I'm sure I will. The Imperial Police Bureau has immense power, absolute power, as far as regular civilians are concerned. So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene?
Well...
I bet it's the... Yeah, there he is. Inspector Hosonaga! I was worried something like this may happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. The court will take this plan and add to the court record. What? Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court at once! Of course. Here you are. Yes, I remember now. He did act strangely when the judge asked me to hand over his business card. I strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. It's my guiding principle. I let myself be distracted when I made that sketch. It was an unusually careless mistake.
So, you mean to say you really are a detective?
But why would a detective be working a restaurant waiter? Ah, of course. Your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. Oh. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to piece things together. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? It's his ninja way. That would be classified police information, which I am not at liberty to divulge. Apologies, I sneezed. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. Very well then, Inspector Hosonaga, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. He's undercover but carries business cards with his actual job and name on him. 10-10, good job. We have just heard new information from the two witnesses beside you. That at the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. If that is indeed true, clearly you would have been aware of this person's presence, having served at the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to this other diner. Therefore, I am led to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you required these witnesses to be in agreement. Would that be correct? Correct, Your Excellency. Unbelievable! As I suspected. As soon as I heard the gunshot, I ran out of the kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair, and beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. So the truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the Bureau. It was then I received some special orders. It was the steak. It was on sale. Special orders, you mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman's presence at the restaurant was not to be concealed, or was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if this Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interests not to pursue that idea. The Empire views the friendly terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. An Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an English woman as the primary suspect, well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. So that's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. But it's not right. Everyone's silently agreeing with him.